souls. Welcome back to this daily divine message from Spirit for our weekly wisdom as we approach our second week of December. Throat chakra closing up. The Palo Santo incense smoke is kind of making me cough a little, but that's okay. Excuse me. Clear my throat so that I can speak on behalf of Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. If you're new to my channel, my name is Princess Leah, and I'm an intuitive artist and healer. I channel. I have the gift. I was blessed with the gift of the channeling ability. Prophecy is what I guess is the word. It's a big word, but that's a word I'm learning to own, learning to claim without, judgment or embarrassment or, feeling like I don't deserve that word, right? Feeling worthy of claiming my gifts, my responsibilities, my calling, my purpose, my talents, as it's very, very easy and very often to feel embarrassed for your gifts, to feel ashamed for things that were so easily given to you, the privileges of life, the extra time that God took on you. Out of the insecurities of other people, out of the adversity or trauma that shaped you, it caused or shaped us. It does cause certain agreements, certain belief systems that we agree to about ourselves. And perhaps this is coming up right now because this is the message for the week, or a message for the week, because that's what's coming up. So let's get into the heart chakra, as my throat is still clearing, as my throat is still waking up to its voice, its truth, and its story. And perhaps that's what you're doing this Monday morning as well, at the time of this message. Whenever this message finds you, despite the time of this live, if it resonates, it's for you, because energy is timeless. And so let's place our hand on our heart, close our eyes, take a deep breath if you like, and let's see if there's any other messages that want to come through from Spirit through the heart chakra. And then we'll see what kind of messages want to come through from the Akashic Star Child Tarot, the Beyond Lemuria oracles, and the Four Agreements oracles. What are you clearing away so that you can express clearly? What are you clearing so that you can express clearly? We're in the final last 3 weeks of the year of the snake, the year of shedding, the year of 9, the year of completing cycles. Maybe as we're waking up this week, Spirit is reminding us that our gifts and our talents, that our passions, our desires, that our dreams, our wishes, our purpose, our calling are uniquely delegated to us individually. And it's not up to anyone else to decide what's worthy of being practiced or shared or enjoyed or chosen. Something on my heart is also coming up around conflict resolution. And that is something that is a challenge. It doesn't matter the conflict, whether it's a conflict between yourself, your child, your lover, your boss, your principal or teachers, how are you learning how to radically resolve is what I'm hearing. Ooh, radical resolution. Interesting. This is for those who are in where your heart space feels conflicted. And I'm looking at the Star of David, as above, so below, here in the Ajna symbol. And I'm also actually seeing that as the duality of consciousness too. Consciousness versus ego. And how the heart chakra is the symbol of bringing above and below into balance, where they meet, where they merge, where they unite, where they come into union. That can be the feminine and masculine energy as well, coming into one space. Resolving conflict is about, and this is what I'm learning, because I'm also, again, that's why it's coming up in my heart space, because I'm also learning how to release unhealthy tactics around conflict resolution, which isn't resolving anything. It's more like conflict intensification, conflict stoking, fighting fire with fire, adding more fire to the fire, right? Are you just blowing on the flames, making it bigger? Or are you actually trying to resolve to come to a synergizing solution that's mutually beneficial for all? And that takes a lot of conscious love to be in the container. It takes a lot of conscious choices to remain and maintain the frequency of solution, of love. It takes a lot of forgiveness, a lot of humility, and it takes a lot of having to rewire how you communicate. We think we're resolving conflict if we say sorry and then justify our actions. I'm sorry, but you did this, quote unquote, right? Or we can resolve when it comes to a solution that is what I want. But I saw this quote and I reposted on my story that said, if the only way for you to be at peace is if everything goes your way, that's not peace, that's control. So like this button if that resonates, or hit that like button, like this video if that resonates, because that's real. Conflict resolution means releasing the need to control the outcome, the need to control how the other person responds. And it may not turn out exactly as you want it, but synergy.
Gently return to your body. Open your eyes.
Sorry for the background
And toes. We've completed the
or
Divine
mute
Light Alchemy healing
noise.
transmission.
This is the Divine Alchemy
Thank all the
healing
divine
meditation.
beings, angels and archangels that assisted during this healing transmission. I hope you've enjoyed this shorter blessing
But
and transmission. Remember to drink
that
extra
kind of
water
took me out of my thought space. So
healing frequencies.
thank you, Spirit. I'm going to take that
Be in love,
as a
peace. As always, in
much
love and gratitude.
a little nudge to carry on and shuffle the energy. Let's see if there's any more messages that Spirit wants to speak through and communicate through the Star Child Akashic Tarot. So for instance, okay, so let's go back to the thoughts that I was having before before the conflict resolution came up, and that was of trusting in your gifts. Maybe you have been feeling like, and this could be because of the end of the year and you're looking back at all that you've, wanted to pick up and accomplish and do and complete and finish this year and achieve, and maybe you haven't achieved them yet. And maybe you're feeling like a fraud or feeling like, a failure. And Spirit is saying you're not a fraud or a failure. But as I was listening to Abraham Hicks last night, actually about someone talking about, feeling like a fraud, Abraham Hicks was saying, that you only feel like a fraud. I'm going to turn off
a lot of
the...
times people try to base their journeys off of what other people.
So, sorry, I wanted to turn off the background noise because I knew that the commercials were going to come up. And that would be distracting. Background noises, okay? So going back to background noises that causes you, you might be having background distractions or thoughts, going back to those disempowering thoughts that came and turned into core beliefs and agreements, from trauma or other people or bullying or whatever, whatever that shaped you to feel like your gifts were unlovable or weren't worthy of being shared because maybe it made you feel weird or unique, and maybe unique made you feel embarrassed because you felt different, and different felt misfitted, depending on your environment of where you're sharing your gifts. But if you think about it, in the sense, I'm going off on a little tangent, but let's say you have a gift. What if you think about it in the sense that the gifts that you had doesn't, just because other people around you couldn't appreciate it. Look at this at the bottom of the Magician in reverse. Just because people couldn't appreciate your magic, your magic, something's flying outside my window. I thought it was a bird, but it's a big piece of trash. So that distraction right there again, going back to the background noises and distractions and things trying to pull your attention away from your own unique magic. That then messes up your ability to create. Look, the Seven of Swords, Two of Crystals. So maybe this goes back to, maybe this is all tying into this week. Spirit is saying, let's hear me. Let's hear what Spirit is saying about this week with these two messages that are coming up. So we have two cards. One, the messages that were coming up, and earlier on my heart. One about trusting your gifts and your magic and your manifestation, your ability, your unique gifts, and not letting the expectations or the judgment and opinions of, or jealousies or whatever of other people deflate your calling, or make you feel wrong, bad, or shamed, embarrassed, guilty, or unworthy. And then you had the second message that came up around conflict resolution, and looking and the word synergy, to find the mutually beneficial solution for all. So these two cards, the Seven of Swords for that first message comes out, and that makes sense. You know, Spirit is saying the message or the advice is what I'm hearing, the guidance with this Seven of Swords. Move in silence, because that's the best way to protect your peace right now. That's the best way to protect your energy right now, is to move in silence, move more discreetly, move more quietly. Don't go sharing what you are working on, what you're thinking about, what you're healing through, what if it's really, especially if you're feeling really raw or vulnerable around trying out new, your talents, or trying new things with your gifts. Doesn't mean it's not worth sharing, or that it's not good enough to share. It's just saying that your gifts right now are given to you, your dreams right now, your ideas, your passions right now, your calling, your purpose was all given to you. That's why your dreams are put in your heart. That's why your dreams are put in your head, in your mind, in your sleep space. That's why it comes to your psyche, your conscience first, your consciousness first, and not anyone else's, because it's meant for you and no one else. So other people, no one else can tell you how to maneuver your dreams. No one else can tell you how to manifest that magician. No one else can tell you how to navigate your life, your gifts. And that also stems into the conflict resolution too, a little bit. Because the Two of Crystals is about harmony and balance. It's about finding the middle ground so that things can not shift and wobble so back and forth like a teeter-totter. When you're on a teeter-totter, it goes back and forth like that, right? But if you are, let's say for instance, teeter-tottering, let's just use this as an example. I'm just using my Palo Santo and this beautiful crystal here. I forget the name of it because I got it a couple years ago. But you know how it balances like this, right? The Two of Pentacles, the Two of Crystals, is about finding that center space right where in the middle, coming right to the middle so that so it's not teetering to one side too much, thus causing an imbalance, which can cause things to roll more to one side. Conflict resolution isn't about compromising your desires so that someone else's desires can be met. Conflict resolution isn't about quieting your voice so that it can, just to hold the peace. Conflict resolution, I'm hearing, is about, and this is again something that I'm not an expert at because a lot of us, most of us don't have healthy examples of emotional resolution or emotional communication. Healthy emotional intelligence is not taught in school necessarily as much as academic intelligence, intellectual intelligence. But emotional intelligence in school it does occur around socializing. If you get upset, you say sorry, right? Or if you hurt someone, you say sorry. Usually that's what you would learn. But apologizing isn't just about saying sorry. Conflict resolution isn't just about hurrying up to fix something or to get out of that, hurry up and try to get out of that uncomfortable space, or to hurry up and try to fix it. It's not putting a Band-Aid on it and calling the leaky faucet fixed, or sweeping it under the rug and calling your floor, vacuumed. It'll still be there until you actually resolve it, until you actually look at it and talk about it. And it has to come from a place of harmony. It has to come from from the motive, the intention to resolve, to reconcile, to find a solution, not to rehash old wounds or to point fingers and blame. Thank you, Spirit. Hope that makes sense. So at the bottom of the deck, the Two of Wands this week, what we don't see is the choice to make, the choice that we have of how we want to move forward, how we want to navigate, how we want to show our gifts to the world, who we want to show it to, share it to, being more guarded, discreet, and even silent, to the point where people may not even know what you're up to. And this is taking me back to why it has been hard personally lately for me to show up. So thank you, Spirit, for answering, how this personally feels, of why it's been so challenging for me to show up in this container of being a prophecy for Spirit, of being a messenger for Source, for God, for divine, of being a channel for divine love, for its frequency to come through, so that we can learn, so that we can choose wisely, healthily, so that we can harmonize, and so that we can heal the heart of the divine masculine and the sacred feminine for the soul of mankind through conscious love. Thank you, Spirit. And so this, for me, feeling like, just not in the space of whether I can trust the calling and the purpose that has been placed on my heart in this way, through tarot, through channeling, through energy, through healing, through our chakras, all of that. Because the stinking thinking, the disempowering thoughts, when we're feeling insecure, and when we are feeling the judgment of others, or feeling like a fraud because when we're feeling that way, it's because we're trying to meet the expectations of everyone else at the expense of our own authentic self. And that hits. And so, until we can move and be confident in our self, in our gifts, in our purpose, in our magic, move more quietly. So Spirit is telling me it's okay if you have the energy or feel confident or are feeling more in alignment with source. If you're feeling, as the term Abraham Hicks likes to use, in the vortex, if you're in the vortex of conscious love, which is the essence, the frequency of source. If you're in the vortex, if you're in alignment with your true soul calling, you're in the vortex and you feel much more confident. You feel alive. You feel heard. You feel worthy. And like your gifts are needed in this world and are of service or just of substance or of value. And when you don't feel that way, it's because you're out of alignment with source. And that's because you're trying to show up for everyone else but yourself. And that's why you need to have balance and harmony for conflict, to resolve, to reconcile, to heal, to work through your dilemmas within yourself, within others, the conflict within yourself of feeling like a fraud or a failure. And your gifts and your purpose, because you haven't yet achieved, or because you're worried too much about what other people are going to say, think, or do. If you're too worried about what other people are going to say, think, or do right now to move towards your dreams and goals, then you need to move towards your dreams and goals more selective, more quietly, more silently, and be more selective with who you share your dreams and goals with, who you share your conflicts and problems with, who you're trying to, you know what I mean? If you're trying to resolve a conflict, be careful, be mindful of who you're sharing that with. If they're able to give you solid, sound advice, or if they're just giving you noise based on their own experiences that cause their own fears to now block their ability to look for a synergizing solution in their own world. So thank you, Spirit. Lemuria says there's an overflow. Let it overflow. Water. Let the emotions overflow. Water is the element that's connected to our emotions, our tears, the what flows through us. Let those emotions overflow. That gives me 7 of Cups energy. The opportunities, the blessings, the abundance that gets poured into us from source, let it overflow. Let the life force energy from source overflow into you. These These cards wanted to flip out. Let it overflow into you. So I know we're at 30 minutes here. We have loving compassion. Thank you for those who are still here, who are tuning in. If this is resonating with you, hit that like button, because it is a deep message here. Alignment at the bottom of the deck. Look at this. Loving compassion, realm bridger. We have radical expansion. What did I say earlier? Radical resolution. Wow. And it's in reverse. Radical expansion. So look at that. So the opposite of radical expansion is what? Shrinking, limiting, blocking, not expanding, contracting. But there is a contrast in expansion and contraction. It's the ebb and flow of life. It is the up and down, the duality, the above and below. It's the breath, the in breath, out breath. Inhale, exhale, exhale. The expansion. So maybe you are coming from a place of contract. Maybe you feel like you're in contrast right now. Maybe you feel like that's where that conflict right now is happening, right? That's why you're feeling like you need to be more silent with your movement. You can't really trust people around you right now. Or maybe you're feeling like you're wondering if you're trustworthy in this moment because you are feeling limited and blocked. You feel contracted, closed off, small. Maybe you've been feeling like you're shrinking to fit boxes that you were never meant to fit inside of. Maybe you've been feeling like you had to shrink to contort yourself to be worthy, to feel worthy or accepted. Or you felt like you had to shrink in order for conflict to subside because your actual feelings were not being validated. Your side of the story was not being heard. And so Spirit wants you to bridge that realm, the as above, so below, the contraction and expansion, the contrast between up and down, in and out, right and wrong, left and right, good and bad. You got the on your conscience, the devil and the angel. To radically resolve, to radically expand, to bridge the realms of heaven, earth, hell, heaven. Earth is supposed to be the realm between heaven and hell, right? If you look at it from that way, from that perspective, whether you believe that or not, if you look at it from that perspective, that goes back to that balance. Remember? The bridge. In order to get from one side to the next. In order to get from one side to the next. In order to not teeter, right? See? Back and forth. You have to find stable, sturdy balance. You have to, this is going to be this is the answer. This is the bridge. The bridge, ooh, thank you. The bridge is loving compassion. that's how you balance conflict, of disagreements, of who's right, who's wrong, what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, what's up, what's down. Have loving compassion for your upbringing. I'm hearing of why you learned what you learned that caused you to move in the way that you're moving now. Have loving compassion for the other party if your conflict is with another person. We have these two cards, these two agreements for our next steps. First of all, refuse to eat emotional poison and don't take anything personally. That's good. That's what we don't see. Oh, and I forgot, we have alignment here at the bottom of the deck from Lemuria. And is that the heart chakra? Yes, it is. Look, unfurling back to love with loving compassion. That's how you manifest. Manifestia, going back to the manifest, the magician. Alignment, balance, harmony, radical acceptance is what I'm hearing. Radical. I was just trying to think of the other book I'm reading right now. And that's so funny that radical keeps coming through. Radical acceptance, radical expansion, radical alignment, I believe actually is. I actually think that that's the book. It's called Radical Alignment because I've read Radical Acceptance by Dr. Tara Bach. That's and that is a really intense, beautiful, deep read. But Radical Alignment, which I love, is showing up. We have both radical expansion and alignment showing up. And that book is actually about conflict resolution, communicating more healthily, so that you can come into alignment with source, with love, with conscious love. Look at that. Thank you, Spirit. So assume nothing, our next steps. Don't make assumptions this week. Don't make assumptions about other people's opinions of you. Don't make assumptions about your measurement of success. Don't make assumptions. You're not there yet, right? If you haven't achieved your goals and dreams that's placed on your heart, it's not because it doesn't mean you failed. That just means you're not there yet. Thank you, Spirit. So this fell this way, so I'm going to just read the back. You are never responsible for the actions of others. Yes. But you are responsible for you. Thank you, Spirit. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. Let that sink in, babies. You may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Love and respect yourself. Hold yourself. Don't take anything personally. This is good. Have loving compassion for the situation. You can have loving compassion for someone who's not treating you with love and respect. You can and still not shrink, not silence yourself, not compromise. You can still bridge the realm of synergy with loving compassion and alignment. Even if someone walks away from you. Because it's not about the other person. That's why Don Miguel Ruiz says don't take anything personally. Because it's not about you. It's about whatever it is that they're going through. And if they're not able to harmonize or align with you in loving compassion, if they're not able to be the other end of the bridge, to meet you in the middle, and if they're not able to expand with you, that is a gift if they don't come with you into this next chapter of your journey. Because we are at the end of the year of 9 of completion. We are at the end of the year of the snake of shedding false identities, false chapters, false stories, false versions. Next year, 2026, the year of the horse, we are going to be taking strides in brand new directions. So this is the time that we're being prepared to release. This is the time that we're being prepared to move. I'm seeing the Chariot in my mind's eye in the tarot. So let the people who want to fall apart, fall away. Let them walk away. They're not a part of this next story. They're not allowed to be in this next story. They're not able to be in that frequency with your manifesting magic. Because what is in store for you, what is yet to come, those accomplishments, those achievements, those goals, those dreams and wishes that you have been working towards, waiting for, praying for, that haven't arrived yet, haven't arrived because these people, these energies, these beliefs, these situations need to walk away. Because they need to clear away, because they've been blocking, they've been shrinking you, they've been silencing you, and they've not been allowing you to truly be in harmony, to choose and trust your choices, to trust your intuition, to trust your values, to trust and move with caution, and to hold closely to your heart what matters most to you. So don't assume anything, because nothing is set in stone right now. We are in the thick of the baptism by fire. We are burning away the residual debris of our false identities. So let this week continue to move so in that way. Let this week continue to help you burn those false everything, fears, false everything appearing real, the illusions away. And we'll see how that helps, how that works for you. And I hope that this is a very powerful message. Thank you, Spirit. I needed to hear that as well. So if it was powerful for you, if it resonated with you, hit that like button. Thank you so much. And if you haven't already done so on your way in or out, feel free to subscribe to my Vibe Tribe. And if this is the last time or the only time that that I see you, or that our paths cross, thank you for tuning in. And I hope that and trust that you got the message that you needed. And for those who find this message later in the future, I'm glad that this found you at the time that your soul needed it. So Till next time, enjoy your week. God bless. Peace and love. Namaste. Bye.